Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's ClaritySoft webinar. Today is Tuesday, January 29th, 2019, and this week's webinar is on all things email. What we'll be covering today will be all the different topics that go along with setting up your email in ClaritySoft, sending emails from ClaritySoft, saving emails back to ClaritySoft, all those different things. And we're going to talk about the different plugins and add-ins that we have for saving emails. We have a Gmail extension that you can install that will allow you to save emails from your Gmail back to ClaritySoft database and attach to the account, contact, opportunity, or lead records. We have Outlook plugins that allow you to save to the contact record with our original version. The original version works with both ClaritySoft Live and ClaritySoft Offline. The advanced version works with ClaritySoft Live, and this one allows you to save emails back to accounts, contacts, opportunities, or leads. You get to choose. And then the Mac Outlook would be our Office 365, where you're using the web-based version of Outlook, and you can install that version of Outlook, which will work with a Macintosh computer. So we'll go over where you find the information on these and see what it looks like once you install it. And then all the directions are in our support portal that you can go and download the plugins from there and follow the steps to complete the installation. Then we'll get into the email settings. Another part of setting up your email with ClaritySoft is sending emails out of ClaritySoft. The other plugins are allowing you to save emails back to ClaritySoft from Outlook or Gmail. You also can set up credentials inside of the database that allow you to send emails out of ClaritySoft that will either go out through your Gmail or through your Outlook. And at the same time, it will save a copy of the email as a closed activity in the database. So we'll talk about that. Sometimes those settings are really super easy to do, and sometimes they might require some help from your IT person. Then email signatures, you can create your email signature in ClaritySoft so that when you do send an email out, it will put your signature into that email each time you're going to send emails out. And then email templates, these are templates that you can create if you send out emails that are fairly standard, welcome to a new customer, or thank you for your business, or, whatever that you send a lot and you're always copying and pasting from a previous email that you sent. Then in ClaritySoft, you can create a template and save it. When you create the template, you can insert merge fields so that each time you run that template, it's going to pull the person's name in, the company name, pieces of information into the email so that you don't have to type it in. You simply select the template and send it on its way. So we'll talk about how to do that. And then sending emails out of the database. You can send individual emails out of the database. You also can send what we call email blasts. And an email blast would simply be sending to more than one person at the same time. And this one, you do have to be a little bit careful that you don't go over your limits with your internet service provider, and we'll talk about when we get there. And then the last topic is the email tracking. Within ClaritySoft, there is a module for email tracking that will show you what emails you've sent out, and then you will see if the person received it, and then it pings back if they've read it. So we'll look at that information too. So we have a lot of topics to cover today. We'll go ahead and get started. First of all, the different plugins and extensions. I have opened my Gmail here. In Gmail, we do have a Gmail extension that will give you in the Gmail this ClaritySoft button. And when you click on it, you can see that you can choose what locations you would like to be able to save to. So I have everything selected except for account here. When you first install this, you will log in, and the login will simply require you to put in your credentials for your ClaritySoft database. So your login name, your password, and your server database name. And then it will stay connected unless you log out. So when you go to send an email, you're able to then choose to save it to ClaritySoft. So I'll send one, then I'll back up and show you where to go to find the installation. So if I click compose here and I want to send this to Susan at ClaritySoft, and we'll say email sent from Gmail. /29/2019. Okay, so when you look here down at the bottom, I have this send and save to ClaritySoft button. I click on it, and then I can choose where I want to save the message. So if I have an opportunity for Susan that I know I want to attach it to the opportunity record, I can click on that, and it would give me the option to search for a specific opportunity. Or if Susan is a lead, I can save it there. I know that Susan is a contact, so I would click on that, and then it's going to give you people that it finds in the database. And the company that I want is this one. And you do have different options here. Select from auto detected, so these are the auto detected ones. And then you can search existing contacts. Maybe you don't want to attach it to Susan, you want to attach it to somebody else. And then you can create a new contact on the fly if you wish. So when I click here and select Susan, then I click save. My email will send, so it says sending down here, and it's sent. And then if I go back to my database and I look up Susan, I will see under my closed activities, email sent from Gmail on 1/29/2019. So it shows you here, and I can click on this to open it, and there's the text of my email here. Now also notice that there is a different icon for Gmail, which makes it nice. Anything that's saved back to ClaritySoft from Gmail will have this letter G as an icon, so you'll know that it was saved from Gmail. So this will tell you which ones are Gmail, which ones are coming from Outlook if you're using both. Some people do. So again, once it's installed, not hard to do. So how do you install? So you go to your question mark in your support portal, and then in the search, if you search for Gmail, and probably just EXT for extension, you'll get this right here, the Gmail extension. Then you have a little video here that will explain how to do it. And you basically follow your directions here. This says to copy and paste it into the address. If you just simply click on this, it will do that for you. So you simply follow the steps to add it to Chrome. Then when you open your Gmail, you will see the little icon in Gmail like you saw. So fairly simple to do. If you run into any issues where things don't quite work right, because sometimes there might be some settings in Gmail that you might need to change, then you can contact our tech support team and they'll be happy to help you. So there's basically all the directions on working with the Gmail extension are there on the support portal for you. Then the Outlook plugin, as I said, there are two different ones. The original one will put this icon here, and this one is the one that will work with ClaritySoft Live and ClaritySoft Offline. There aren't a whole lot of people out there still using offline, but if some of you are, then you would install this plugin. And this one allows you to save an email to a contact person only. It does not allow you to save to a lead or to an opportunity in the database. So if that's fine, then that's the one you can use. Again, on our support portal, there are directions and a download link for downloading and installing this. When you do install this, first you want to close your Outlook, and then after you do the installation, you'll reopen it, and this button will appear. And then you do have to do some configuration in here, and you'll click on this little arrow down here, and you will go to define connection information. And then you will need to connect to ClaritySoft Live. You will enter your database name, and then you're going to have to create an API key, which the steps for doing this are in the directions. You basically click this create button, and you'll put your login credentials in and follow the steps in the direction until you get a key that you place here. And then once you place it here, you click to test it, and it will test it and verify it for you. So then your connection is made. So that one is between ClaritySoft, either offline or live, and then allows you to save back to contacts. The other one is over here. This is called our Advanced Outlook plugin. And this one gives you the capability, like the Gmail plugin, to save to 4 different locations if you wish. So you can choose where you want to save it. So if I wanted to save it to a contact, I can select that. Save this again. I know that Susan is a contact. So it does the same thing. It does the same thing as a Gmail. Select from auto detected, search for an existing, or create new. It found this person, so that one's already selected. So I just come down and click save, and this email will then be saved back to the database. The directions are out here on the support portal. Again, if you go to the home, when you get to the support portal, you click on the search Outlook. You can just type Outlook, and then it will come up with the Outlook plugin original and the Outlook plugin advanced. And so depending on which one you want to do, you can choose, and you click. Takes you to the page. Again, a short video on how to install it. This is what it looks like. And down here is where you would download the plugin, follow the steps to install. Usually you need to close your Outlook first, and then install, and then open it, and this will appear on the toolbar. So that's there, and then if you go back to the one for the original, you'll see it over here. And again, that is a download install that will put this here, and then you have to go through the configuration to get that API key. So again, there's a video for you, walk you through. If you have any trouble at all, if you're working in Quick Start with either Linda or myself, please contact us and we'll help you through. This is usually something we do anyway. And then if you're just stuck, then you can call tech support and they will help you. So the next one are the email settings for sending emails out of ClaritySoft. So that when you click on someone's email address in here, it will open an email. You'll be able to type it and send it on its way. You don't have to go to Outlook or Gmail to send it. And then it's automatically saved back to the database. So that involves going to settings. And if you are an admin user in the database, you can come down here to users and access and go to user email settings. Then on the right side over here, you would get a list of all your users, and you would be able to select a user, put all their email settings in, save them, and test them right from one location. If you're not an admin user, then you're going to go right here under My Settings and click on Email Settings. So what you're going to get here is you will add your email address. The sender name is optional, so you can put your first and last name there. Then depending on your email setup, you will have to find out what these credentials should be in here. If you're using Office 365, then it will be an Exchange server. And usually this is the setting here, this outlook.office365.com. And you set this to SSL for secure socket license. You enter your email address and your email password. Then you click apply to save it. And then you do save and test. And if you're lucky, it will come up and say it has connected successfully. Okay, if it comes up and says it failed, then there's something it doesn't like. So at that point, first of all, check that your password is correct. You type the password, and then, then you can go from there. And you might have to check with your IT person, because if you have your own Exchange server, you may have different credentials that go in here. Now, the other options that are here are Gmail. So if you're connecting to Gmail, you can select that. And then it will put some standard settings in, but you need to double check that those standard settings fit what your settings are. So again, you can look at your Outlook to find out what the settings are, or you can talk to your IT or network person would be able to help you. So once you get that going, then you just need to log out and log back in, and then you will be ready to send emails. Now, email signature. What you can do with your signature, if you have your signature set up in Outlook, then you can go to your Outlook, go to the signatures where my original one is, and then I simply select it. So I'm going to copy it. Then I can click add and click in here and do a paste. Now I'm using Control V, and it looks a little messy. I'm going to type a name up here for whatever you want to call it. I'm just making it different. So you'll notice here the text and things come in, but your logo and then all these things for Facebook and all that come in really weird. So what you need to do is right-click on the image, go to Image Properties. And then you're going to see in here, there's a whole path name for where that image is stored. So what you want to do is right-click, copy it, go to the Upload tab, click on Choose File, and then click in here and do a paste, and then open. And that will take you to the folder location where that logo is stored. Now, if you know where the logo is stored, you can simply go to Upload and look for the file. But I never remember where it is, so it's easier to do it this way. And then it pulls the file here, and then I have to click Send it to the server, because it needs to be stored on the ClaritySoft server so that it can find that image. So I click here, and when I do that, it returns me back to the first tab where I was, and it shows me the logo. And then over here, it gives me the dimensions, okay? And you can change it. Now, what you want to pay attention to here is this little padlock, because this locks the height and width ratio, so that if you change one, the other one automatically changes. So, for example, if I decided I only wanted this to be 150, notice that as soon as I do that, it changes the height to 41 from the 48 that it was. So you want to make sure that that padlock stays locked. Because if you click it, you can unlock it. And if you click it again, you can lock it. So if it unlocks, and sometimes it unlocks if you come back in to make an adjustment in size. So you always have to watch that to make sure. Otherwise, if it unlocks, then things will get out of whack. So once I have that, I click OK. And that inserts my logo in there. And then I can come down and basically do the same thing with the rest of these until I have them all in there. So that's how you can do that. And then if you need to change the font here, this is going to come in as just kind of HTML font. So this might not be the font that you want, so you can select your text and then you can choose, okay? And then you can also pick your size. So you pick that, and get it all set up the way you want, whatever looks best. And then if you know this is the signature that you want to use all the time, then you click down here and click in the default checkbox. And then I'm going to save it. And notice you can create more than one signature. So if you have different signatures that you might use for different reasons or purposes, then you can create and save multiple signatures. And when you're in an email, you then are able to choose which signature you would want in your email that you're about to send. Okay? All right, so once I've done that, the next step would be perhaps creating templates. So that's over here on the left. And you can create email templates, again, as many as you need. Once you've created a template, you can share it with other users. So if you're the master at creating really nicely written templates and formatting them nicely, you might get that job. And then you can share them with the other people. So to create a template, you're again, email templates, click add. And then again, you want to give it a name. So let's say I've got one for, if I try to call somebody and they're not there, I just want to shoot them a quick email and I don't want to have to type it every time. So I'm just going to say try to call is the name of my template. This is not what the customer is going to see. The subject line here is what the customer's going to see. So maybe you might want to put in here, sorry, I missed you, something like that. And then you can come down in the body of the email and say, you know, hello, and click on this green button here to insert a field. So if you want to pull in the first name, you can pull that in. And then when you run this template, no matter which contact person you run it for, it's going to put in the proper first name, pulling it from the contact record in the database. So you might say, I just tried to call you. Okay, and now you will not put in here your signature. Okay, that's going to go in when you actually send the email. So you basically put this in. You can insert other fields. If you were typing something where you wanted to pull in the company name, then you could, you know, pull in the account name. Another one here I will mention, salutation. When people are importing data, they always question, you know, what is the salutation field? Well, the salutation field in ClaritySoft, its purpose is for you to put in any kind of a nickname that somebody might have. It's how you would greet them. And you know, a lot of people, like a person who's named William might go by Bill, or they might go by William. So it just depends. Just like my name, my name is Susan, but I can go by Sue or Susie or whatever. So the salutation field is where you would put a nickname for a person. But you don't just do it for one person and just put the nickname in. You want to put their first name in the salutation field if they go by their regular first name. So usually when I'm working with someone to import data, we put the first name into the first name field and we put it into the salutation field so that if you want to use the salutation field instead, you can, and then you would pick up nicknames for any people that you had a nickname for. But you need to be careful because you need to make sure that you have entered a name in all of, you know, all your records for that salutation field. Otherwise, it's going to say hello blank, and you definitely don't want to do that. So that's how that is used in the database, just to clarify that, because that confuses people a lot of times. So we've got our letter. We're going to go up here and save it. And we now have a new template. So let's go back to the database. Now, to email a person, so for example, if I'm working with Susan, let's say I tried to call her and I left her a voicemail, so I want to shoot her that email to say, you know, I tried to call. So I can go to her record and I can click right on the email address. I get the email form. Notice my signature pops in. And then all I need to do now is come down here to insert template. And here's my tried to call template. Don't click on the link here, click on the icon. If you click on the link, you end up going to a web page with this, and that's not where you want to be. So click on the icon and it drops it in, okay? And then you could type, you know, your name here if you didn't put that in with your signature. And if you want to enter anything else, you know, you can type other text, because maybe you want to tell her something special. Type anything you want once you pull in the template, and then you simply click send. So ClaritySoft is now going to send this out through your Outlook or your Gmail, whatever you set up in your settings. And here is the email here. So it's automatically saved as a closed activity for Susan. And if you click on it, then you'll see your text, and there it put in her name where it had the first name field. So it's all done. That was what, less than 10 or 15 seconds to do, and you're finished and ready to move on. So probably, you know, sit down and think about what are some things that I spend time typing over and over and over again that I could create a quick little template and save it. And then when I do make a call or I, you know, do something that I want to do a nice follow-up on, the template is already there. So it doesn't have to be a marketing template or anything like that. It can just be, you know, a little message to send to somebody that helps save you 5 or 10 minutes of typing time that you would normally have to do. So if I open my email over here, there it is. So it says, hello, Susan, just tried to call you and got your voicemail. So you can see it just shoots right on through. It puts her name in, looks very, I mean, it's not the most beautiful email, but it looks nice if you make time to make it look nice. And it's already saved to ClaritySoft. You don't have to do it. So it's already done. So that's the nice thing, to be able to send something out very quickly and easily. Let's say somebody else sees that little template and says, hey, can you give that to me? And you can say, sure. So you can go to the settings button and go to your email templates, and then click on this button here. This is called the row action button, and share it. And then you have a list of all your users. So you can either click in all users to select them all, or you can go down and pick and choose those people that you want to share with, because they're the ones that could use it, okay? And once you do that, you click apply, and they go to their templates here. They will see this template. Okay, so email blasts. So this is sending the same email to more than one person. And so this usually involves doing some sort of a filter so that you're selecting a list of people according to some categories, and then being able to send that same email out to multiple people. So first of all, let me see here. I have, under my email templates, I have this travel places one that I've created. So it's just hello, first name, here's a list of great places to visit, and I just threw these things in. So something simple, just so you know, you can insert images into the template. Okay, so if you've got pictures that you'd want to bring in or some kind of graphics, you can create tables and lay them in here. So you have a lot of things that you can do. You can make some really nice looking templates if you take a little time to do it. You've got a lot of capabilities here, just exploring and doing some different things. Another thing I will mention, just in case some people know this, all of this text that you're creating here is actually being coded in HTML code underneath. So if you're familiar with that from other programs, you can click on this button here to view the source code. So this is the HTML code that is making that little email work, okay? And if you create a document or text in another program where you can view the HTML code, you can copy that code and then come into your email template and turn on the source code and then paste the source code here and then turn off this button, and you'll have your document that you created elsewhere that might have some graphics and things in it. So for those of you that might know that and have experience with that, you can do that here. So just that's another little hint or tip. So here's my template that I have that I'm going to use, and I'm going to show you how to do some searching a couple of different ways. If you're in contacts, you have to email from contacts, so you have to land here eventually. But you don't have to start here, okay? So I will start here first. So let's say I've added a custom field here for communications list, and so I've created a multi-select drop-down newsletter promotional holiday, and I can check off what communications each contact is supposed to receive, and then I can filter on it. You can do something similar in your database if you haven't already, or you could search perhaps by a category of, maybe if you have a job role or a job function in here, you want to send something out to all the engineer type people, or all of the sales type people, whatever you've categorized your contacts as. So you can think of custom fields you might want to add in order to be able to do these types of mailings. So I've got the communications list. So what I want to do is I want to pull out all of the people for a promotional. So I'm going to come up here to my Spyglass, go to advanced search, and then I'm going to go to my communications list and select promotional. If I wanted to only send to certain people in a particular state or something like that, I could add that as well. We'll see how many people we get here. So I get 25. Okay, that's a reasonable number to be able to send out through your Gmail or your Outlook. Okay, if you're going to start doing this, you do need to check with your service provider just to make sure you're not going over daily limits, because you can get your email blacklisted. So you just have to be careful. As long as you stay probably under 100 to 150 at a time, you're probably okay, but before you start doing it, check. It's always better to be safe. So I now have all of my communications list people should have the word promotional in it. So I have 25 people. To now select them, I click in this checkbox, and it's going to select all the people on the first page. I happen to have my page set to 100 results per page, and I only have 25. If yours is at 20, that's fine. Don't worry about it, because the next step will allow you to override this. So I'm next going to go to list actions, because this has to do with a list of people. And I'm going to choose email contacts. Now here's the question that will pop up. Do you want all records marked as checked or all filtered records? If this number here is greater than the results per page, then you want all filtered records for sure. If it's less, then you could go either way. So I'm just going to do all filtered records, just to be on the safe side. Click apply. So now it should open an email form. My signature is in here already, and over here is a list of all of the recipients. Down at the bottom, it's telling me that I have a total of 21. Now, the reason I have 21 would be two reasons. One would be that there are 4 people that don't have an email address, in which case you can't send them anything, or there could be 4 people that have opted out of email, and a checkbox in the contact record has been checked. So then they don't get picked up, okay? So I know I have 21 people that this is actually going to go to, and then it's coming from me. And when I click template, I will get my travel places template. Throws everything in. Now notice when it puts the template in, it also inserts the subject line. So when you create and save your template, you want to make sure you have the subject line that you want. So you have everything ready to go. You just check it, and then you can come down and click send. Now obviously I'm not going to do that because a lot of these are fake emails, but I can click send. Now, if you decide for some reason you don't want to send this right now, then you click on this little triangle and you can say send it out in an hour or 2 hours or 4 hours or tomorrow morning. So you can kind of schedule this to go and then let it sit, and it will sit until the time comes for it to be sent out. So you can use this in a sense to line some things up to send out in sequence, you know, maybe 25 emails in 2 hours and 25 or 50 emails tomorrow morning or something like that. So you can schedule these to go, and then they'll go out, and then that's when you'll see them in the email manager. So that would be sending out multiple emails, filtering in the contacts. Well, what if you wanted to send emails out to a particular type of company? Maybe they're in manufacturing or they're in retail or something like that, and you want to send to a specific group there. So here I have the manufacturing sector. Let's say I want to send to just the manufacturing people. So I can do a filter here at the account level to choose manufacturing, and I get 36 companies. Now, how do I get to contacts from here? Well, not a problem. Select all your accounts, go to List Actions, View Contacts. It's that same message, so just choose All Filtered Records. And what ClaritySoft now has done is it moves you to the Contacts module, but it's only showing you the contacts for the companies that are manufacturing companies. So this gives you a lot of power in a sense where you can filter at the account level, select the records, and then view the contacts. Then you can say, all right, I'm ready to send, and go to List Actions, Email Contacts, All Filtered Records, open the email, open your template, send. So you now have pulled out those contacts for companies that are just manufacturing companies. Okay, so explore with that a little bit, because you can do the same thing in the activities module. You could search for activities, and then you can view accounts or view contacts, and then you could email. Notice you can also search in activities and email from here too. So you can do that from activities. You can also go to opportunities, and you've got under List Actions, Email Contacts. So again, you've got a lot of flexibility to be able to move from one module to another. So filter in one module, send emails out, or select them and jump to another module, maybe not for email purposes, but for some other reason. All right? So the marketing module is a separate module that some people have and some people don't. If you have the marketing module, then you have purchased so many emails per month that you can send out. So you can see here on mine, I can send out up to 50,000. I can send 50,000 out at one time, okay? But if you're going out through your Outlook and you don't have the marketing module, then you have to be careful. All right. For those who don't have the marketing module, when you go to the email manager, you will see this email tracking tab. And then up here, you have different time frames. So if I put all periods, here are all the emails that I've sent out of here. And so you can pick a user, you can pick a time frame, you could search for a specific person up here or account, and then you can see all the emails that you've sent. And it will tell you what module it was sent from. So here are two that were sent out of quotations because a quotation record was sent, or a quotation was sent. And then the status, how many times the person read it, and the last date that they clicked on it. So that will ping back to you so you can say, well, they never even looked at my email, so did it go into the junk folder, or are they just ignoring me, or what? So this does help you follow up on knowing what has happened. And you have your row action button here. This allows you to delete it if you want to delete it. If you wanted to take this list or a list you search for, you could select it and export it out to Excel. Okay, so you've got that there. And then the marketing people, you can use you actually would use your campaign tracking. When you've sent campaigns out, you will be able to see all your recipients, what they've done, whether anything bounced, if they unsubscribe. So the marketing module gives you a lot more capability. But for the non-marketing people, you will just simply see this list. Hopefully I've answered all your questions. If you need help with any of the setup with your extensions or the plugins, please call tech support or email them. And once again, I thank you for attending.